This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 Bullet travel trailer. The model number is 287 RLS. Okay, so this is a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? Here we are at the door side rear. It has power stabilizer jacks. One switch controls both rear, another switch controls both front. I'll show you the switches when we get around to them. They're up on the other side towards the front. I'll show you that when we get there. You have two power awnings, one on your slide room, your door side slide room, and one on the door side wall. They're powered and they have LED lights. Okay. Your steps, of course, fold in and are adjustable. This thing here with the yellow rubber cap, that is your quick connect for the LP system. So if you want to plug in a griddle or a grill, anything like that, that's where you would plug it into the system. You have a mounting bracket for a TV here, or a backer plate for a TV mounting bracket. Okay, and here we have power, and then we have, of course, signal out right here. Okay, you have lights here. The other lights I just flipped are for the cap lights. Okay, now this crank here, which is, let me spin it out for you. It's got a cylinder on it with a slot cut in it, as you can see. Let's get around to the other side of the trailer. Give me 1 second here. Okay, you can see on the off-door side, this is the stabilizer jack for the front here. You can see it's got a shaft with a pin through it. Well, that crank that I just showed you with the cylinder with a slot cut in it slides right over that pin or shaft with a pin, and therefore you can crank the powered stabilizer jacks manually in an emergency. So you got a place for the front and for the rear to crank. These are the switches here for them. Extend and retract. So that's how you operate them normally, but you can crank them manually in an emergency. Okay. You have a power tongue jack. Okay. Power tongue jack also has, you can pull this plug and use a socket on it and crank it manually to get yourself out of trouble too. You have two LP tanks, of course. You have a Deep Cycle Marine battery, and this is the kill switch for the battery here. You can shut it off if you need to. Okay, I turned on the lights in the compartment a second ago, or a few seconds ago, and these are them here, so you can take a look at them. Okay, your power tongue jack also has a light on it too, a hitch light. Okay, so this is the sprayer, or the hose for the sprayer. It plugs into here, and there should be another port somewhere. I don't know for sure, but I'll point it out if we see it. But you can definitely put it on here to get water. While we're talking about water, this is your city water hookup right here. Right here. So that's the most common way to get water to the trailer. You just hook the hose on there, turn on the water, you're all set. Now if you're camping someplace without city water, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here. Okay. After you fill the tank, you can turn on the water pump with the switches inside for it. I'll show you that when we get inside. But you can turn on the water pump, and then all your plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping it out of the tank. So when you're camping, boondocking, or whatever, and you don't have city water, you can pre-fill the tank, and all your plumbing will work. All right. This is to draw antifreeze into the system, This is the valve to winterize your trailer. Basically, this changes the valves on the back of your water heater, right? Or what would be the valves on your water heater under normal circumstances. On this particular one, you have a on-demand water heater, so it's a little bit different, but you still can bypass it at that point right there. Keep in mind, the controls for this are inside. I'm not going to be able to show you it working because it's filled with antifreeze right now because it's the dead of winter. But keep in mind, you have this master switch out here. Okay, it's off now. You want to leave it off through the winter. When you're not using it, when it's in storage, you could shut it off. But in order for it to work, obviously you have to have it turned on. And also there's it has a couple of safety features. The main safety feature is if there's not a water source, it will not turn on. The gas burner will not turn on. I'll talk to you more about that on the inside when we get to the control for it, okay? Alright. Okay. This is your black tank flush right here. So basically, after you dump your black tank, the valves will be down here. We have them down here. So after you dump your black tank, you can leave the black tank valve open. That's what it says here on this sticker here. Leave the black tank valve open. Hook the hose of the dump station right onto here. Turn it on with the valve open. Turn it on, and then you'll spray out the inside of your tank, clean off the sensors so you get a good accurate reading, that sort of thing. So just make sure you have like it says on the sticker, you leave the valve open. Okay. Now here, that's a tire link there. You can educate yourself a bit about that. That's for the for your tires. You can download an app for it. There's a code there to do that. This is just a cover on here. It's something it's basically pre-wired for this thing right now. So if you're interested, you can get the plug-in that goes on there and have tire monitor. And this is also prepped for an inverter if you want to add an inverter to it. But what it does have is solar panels, right? So in order to log it, this is your solar controller. It doesn't have a screen on it that you can look at. You use your phone for that. So what you do is you get over to here. I think it's on this side. Yeah, right there. Take your phone and take a picture of your tag on the side, and the tag will show you a PIN number. It's a 6-digit number. So you write that down and save it. Then you're going to download the app for this either off of Google or Apple, depending on what kind of phone you have. You download the app. First thing you'll do is you always, in the upper right hand corner, first of all you'll log on using that 6-digit code, right? Then you'll look at the upper right corner, and if there's a red dot, it means there's an update for it. So you always want to keep it up to date is what I'm saying. So make sure you keep after that. But basically it's going to tell you everything you need to know about the system. It'll tell you how many DC volts are in the system. It'll tell you how many amps are being converted by electricity, or how much solar power is being converted to amperage and being stored in your battery, that sort of thing. It tells you all the good stuff and a bunch of other stuff that it's not really that important to know, but nevertheless it'll tell you your history, all kinds of stuff. So that's through the app. So you have to download the app. Like I said, you get to take a picture of your tag on the side so you can get the proper code or the pass number, and then you'll log on to it. This is on and off for your solar panel. You want it on, of course, but that's just a way to shut it on and off. And I showed you on the tongue there was a battery kill switch too. So this is sort of the same thing, but it's for the solar panel. Okay. All right. So moving along. Your valves are under here. That's the vent for your furnace, of course. This is a vent for your range hood. So you have a range hood that right over your burners that vent to the outside. If you're going to be running the range hood, always have this flapping freely here. If not, you can just shut it by pushing it shut. But if you're venting to the outside, you definitely want that flapping freely. Okay, so you have a 50 amp service here. So you get your 50 amp shore cord, and then you get a reducer to reduce it down to a 30. And then we give you another one to go down to a 20 if you just want to light it up so you can, you know, pack up or anything like that. It's pre-wired for a backup camera, so if you want to add one, it's got the pre-wire for it. You get a ladder, which is great because you can inspect the roof. The manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days. What you're looking for is any damage that might be caused to the roofing attachments or roofing material by, let's say, low branches or road debris flying up there. You look at the sealant to make sure there's no cracking or separation where water could get through. You just give it a basic inspection. If you can't do it, have someone else do it. You just have to be very careful, of course. It's good to get out of the cold, believe me. Wow. Where was I? So yeah, so you just want to give it a basic inspection. Odds are you won't have to do anything for years when it comes to roof maintenance, but you just want to stay after any potential issues. You don't know what's happening up there unless you look, so make sure you take a look every 90 days, okay? Alright, so this is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. It's also got a test button on it you can push. If it's not green, or if the test button is not working, get it serviced immediately. Don't put it off, don't ignore it. It should always be in working order because it's very important, obviously. Okay, so let's see, we'll come over here. Alrighty. The lights are on. This is a dimmer here, just so you know. Your thermostat is very basic. You just hit the mode button and you keep poking it to go through the different modes. Fan, which is the air conditioner running without the compressor, just circulates air. Then you go to cool. Put the fan on auto when you're using the air conditioner. That's the best way to run it. And then we go to heat. It runs your propane furnace, which is running right now. It's very, very simple. Okay. When it comes to your control panel, you have two slide rooms, right? And then you have your main awning, right? Never leave the awnings out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll in the awnings, because they will get damaged by the weather if you leave them out long enough. This awning switch here is for the awning on your slide room. The other switch is for the one on the wall, the one I just showed you, okay? Alright. And then of course you have the regular stuff. Water pump, we talked about that for pumping water out of the fresh water tank. If you don't have city water, you can use that to pump water out of the city water or the fresh water tank. You also use this to winterize the trailer. Lights here, okay. And then you have your levels. Battery is charged, fresh water, all these are empty, gray 1, gray 2, so on and so forth. They graduate up in 1/3 increments as they go. Okay? Alrighty. So, we'll go right to the bathroom here and work on this here. So, shower and sink are pretty self-explanatory. The toilet is typical RV toilet in that it sits over a black tank. And it has a flush pedal right here. So you can't run it dry, so when you get to the campground you hook up your power and your water, you come inside, you put a dose of chemical right in the bowl, then you're going to stand on the flush pedal and hold it down till you put at least a gallon of water in the tank below. You could use more than a gallon of water, just don't use less. If you don't use a dose of chemical and at least a gallon of water, that's considered using it dry. If you use it dry, it'll get clogged up, it'll smell terrible, and it'll just be a mess. So you always want at least a gallon of water and chemical, okay? GFCI here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI, even the one on the outside. So if you're using something outside that pops, you're going to reset it here. Anytime you have receptacle issues, always think GFCI, okay? This is the controller for your on-demand water. It's shut off right now, right? But you would push the on button, obviously. And this button here, it just goes from Celsius to Fahrenheit, whichever you prefer. And then you can go up and down. Right now it's probably set to 120. You see them set between 115 and 125. It's usually a 115, 120 in there. So once you turn it on, and then you turn on some hot water, any one of the hot water valves, the screen will light up and you'll see a wheel turning, and then you'll see itself flaming, and then you'll see the temperature start to rise very quickly. It's just giving you on-demand hot water. The thing to remember, like I told you, there's a master switch outside. You always have to make sure that's on. And also you have to have a water source, or it will not light. The burner will not light. It's got a safety on it. So you have to either be hooked up to city water with the water turned on. That's one way to do it. The other way would be have water in your fresh water tank with your water pump turned on. So you have to have one of those two conditions for the burner to light. So keep that in mind also, okay? But it's really good, and it works. Like I said, you can use any of the hot water taps, whether it's in the kitchen or here in the shower or whatever, and it'll give you non-stop on-demand water. Okay, so let's move out here, and let's see what we have. Okay, four chairs, obviously. Okay, this here is your power converter. So this converts AC to DC power. So you see over here you have regular 120 AC circuit breakers, and they're all labeled right here. So this is kind of your distribution panel like you'd see at home. Then the 120 AC is converted to 12 volt DC over here. You got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. So that's where your 12 volt comes from. This is also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy, as long as you're plugged into shore power, it'll sense how much energy your battery up on the tongue has and needs, and it'll keep your battery charged. So when you're pulling down the road, when you're in transit, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery. When you're plugged into shore power at the campsite, this power converter will charge your battery. And in between all that, the solar panel will charge the battery as it can, depending on the conditions outside. You know, what time of day it is, the position of the sun in the sky, the position of the trailer in relationship to the sun, the cloud cover. All those factors matter, but it will store as much as it can through the solar cells. Okay. Alrighty. Next, your refrigerator is a 12 volt DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12 volt, which is great. Here's a second GFCI here, so you have two of them at least. There's usually two of them in a trailer this size. Alright, this is your, you can pull that off of there, okay. This is your microwave, and it looks like it's a convection, yes. Okay, we'll make sure that all that stuff's pulled out of there. Your range itself, you have a cover on it, of course. This is your sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark. So I don't know if he's, yeah, there you go. So he's got the gas turned on and everything. Well, he must, the furnace is running. So okay. So that's that simple. You turn it clockwise to spark it. You have the oven knob here. You have a ambient light here and an oven light down here. Back here, all the way at the back, is a pilot light. Maybe we can see it here. Yeah, you can see it back there. So when I spark it, it tries to light it. What you do is you go to the knob for the oven, go to the picture of the flame, you depress it, keep it depressed. You start sparking with this hand, and once you see the pilot light, you continue to hold this depressed, keep holding it. After a light, you hold it for another 10 or 15 seconds for the thermocouple to heat up. Once you get to that point, you can go to operating temperature, and it'll cycle as an oven does. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay, and always travel with this down so it doesn't break. Okay. Your keys, I'm not sure where the keys are at this moment, but I'll make sure they're in here. Okay. Let me shut this off here. There we go. Let's see what else we have here. Pantry. Yes, pantry with shelves. Your fireplace and your TV have remotes. Let's find them. Okay. They'll probably be in the pack. Oh, here they are, right here. Okay. So that's your pack with all your literature in it. This is your fireplace remote. Whoops, you can see it there. Okay. You can change the colors, of course. The temperature. It's got a timer on it, so you can set it to turn on and turn off when you want. And you can set the thermostat that way, and then of course off. That's all with your remote, or you can use the buttons right here. The TV is more than just a TV. It's a FM radio, right? FM radio. It's got Bluetooth, so you can stream from your phone or your tablet through it. It's got 2 zones, inside and outside of the trailer, inside speakers and outside speakers, and it's on a let's see, looks to be on a swing out bracket also. Make sure you latch this when you're traveling so it doesn't swing out and get damaged in any way. Okay. This is a hide-a-bed. Let's see which type it is. Yeah, this one you pull the cushions off the back, you fold it out here, drop the legs, and it's drop the back. It's got 3 panels, and it's actually not a bad hide-a-bed as hide-a-beds go, you know. So you have that. You have top secret storage I just found. Look at that. So you keep all your gold. Okay. Recliners, of course. And I think that about covers it. I'm looking around here, trying to make sure I don't miss anything. I got to make sure that your keys are brought forward and your microwave is put in working order. Other than that, we're in good shape here. So, last but not least, we'll walk up to the bedroom, which is typical, except you have this is a 50 amp system, so you do have a second air conditioner. The controls are on the air conditioner. You have TV hookups here and a backing plate for a TV mount. Wardrobe, emergency window, which works like they all do. You push this through. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you push it through and then you push them out, push it out, then you grab a hold of the tab and pull the screen loose to escape an emergency. You have some storage underneath the bed, and that's pretty much it. The second air conditioner is great in the dead of summer. It really makes a big difference, of course. Okay, so that does it, I think. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. You can't see what's happening up there unless somebody looks, so make sure you look. People, generally speaking, don't inspect the roof enough, so make sure you take care of that. And right now this has antifreeze in it. The water's been purged from the system and replaced with antifreeze for the winter time. So we're all set till spring when it comes to that. So if you have more questions when you pick up, you can ask them, and we'll walk you through it and talk you through it, and we'll make sure that you're confident and happy when you leave. Okay? Thank you.